I'm joined with Fakegod after finally breaking the curse, winning not just one game, but 2-0. Fakegod, man, that must be. Right before we started, you just gave a sigh of relief, man. How relieving is it to finally win?
It feels really good. And honestly, there's still like stuff that's I have like conflicted feelings because we basically like went into a little bit of a review of the game like right after, and then I think there was a lot more I could have done, but there's like some stuff I still did well, like the very last team fight when I Panthar'd. Like all my other Panthar's were like pretty bad, honestly, but the last Panthar, it burned Zig Slash, we killed Zara, and then we won the fight from it. So there's I'm more happy than like anything, honestly, just for winning. Because if we lost today, I'm pretty sure we're basically out. So I'm really happy we won.
Yeah, there's definitely, especially the 2-0 makes it like the amount of scenarios that you guys actually make it is so much higher than if you even 2-1. So it was
Oh, that
definitely
that makes a
very.
difference. That
Oh
makes a
yeah,
difference.
oh yeah.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Well,
Okay.
because let's say you win two series and Immortals wins two series, but Immortals has like two extra wins. They lost 1-2. They would be above you because they technically won more games, individual games. So it does matter.
I see.
And
Okay.
but only in ties. So as long as you guys aren't tied, which it'll be kind of hard to do. But
Yeah, it'll be close in the with what happens, but we're at least on the board. We're not zero winless now. We gotta win all over Dig.
yeah, and you've been looking good. That's the other thing. Like even when you played against NRG, the second game especially was like clean for the first 25 minutes, I think, and then things got a little more chaotic. But yeah, you guys have looked good playing around vision, playing around your picks. Like you said, your last ultimate was more of fake god with a capital God, and the first one was fake god with a small god.
It
Uh,
was like a fake god with the fake just there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more about Boogie because it seems like he's. I saw a comment on Twitter, and that sort of exemplifies it. Tomio was not the problem, but god damn, Boogie is the solution.
I think Boogie is just a really strong voice that our team needs, and we play really well with Boogie, and Tomio was definitely not the problem. And I think even if we played with Tomio again, I think we'd be like a decent, like solid team compared to like the weeks 1 and 3 right now. But it's just like playstyle almost, and how Boogie is as a player. That's really it.
Uh, Here's my question to you. Back in 2023, when you were still on T9 Academy, you guys were winning scrims against teams. Like, there was a story that just came out recently where JoJo on EG, like, they were about to play Golden Guardians and they scrimmed you guys and you guys smashed them. They were like, oh my god, it's Damwon, it's Damwon. Right? And then we take a huge risk. Like, Shopify says, okay, well, this team should obviously be in LCS. And they take sort of the core of that. And you guys have kind of, you know, struggled up until now. What if you could pinpoint like what the main struggle point that's been happening these past two splits, where would you put it?
Mm, Affects more so with team identity, especially for the first split. The start of the first split was really off when we didn't have our AD carry, and we had a lot of weird drafts and prep stuff. So I would say for like the first weeks of the first split, we really didn't know what kind of team we were. And then when we started to figure it out, basically, we had to climb uphill because we were like 0-4 after like 2 weeks at that time. Like it wasn't like very good. And then I think it's a similar situation where we were ramping up, but we couldn't wrap up in time for spring. And then we barely lost to C9 and then couldn't make it for like a tiebreaker for playoffs. And I feel like a similar thing happened for this summer where, well, besides like we had a Tomian where we weren't completely sure what our team identity was. And then basically our cop out fix was just put Boogie back in and then do what we knew from spring. And yeah, I think we're doing a similar trajectory where we're ramping up again from a really bad spot. So we need to like win now. We need to win everything to make it. But the team environment and everyone is really motivated to make that happen. Essentially, the impossible quest to make it to playoffs after having 0 wins.
And then to Worlds. Not only did you bring back Boogie, but you brought back Insanity cooking in the mid lane with the Jhin. So I was told that you guys were focusing on fundamentals and that you guys were like, yeah, we're not good enough to be flexing things and picking things. Not only did he pick a non-traditional mid laner, but you also picked the top laner that was just recently got buffed and like a counter pick, I'm assuming, to Renekton specifically. What made you guys go back to not just like your focus on fundamentals, but rather maybe flexing that champ pool that Insanity's got?
The real difference is that when the situation you're talking about in spring, it was more like we were forcing those random picks instead of just playing normally, so to speak, with like normal picks and stuff like that. And we were essentially just practicing like that for this entire time, just to like the standard meta, like look for the standard play and learn the fundamentals like that. And we weren't like we don't look for these situations where these picks just like come up to force them. It's just like it's another option. So in this case, Jhin was just another option for us, and Pantheon was just another option for us. It wasn't like some Pant Jhin combo. It was just like this champ is fine here. All right, we can pick it on 3. And then it was like, oh, okay, if they ban like all of these champs, then we just have to go this champ. And then that's just how it went. So we were just practicing like everything normally, and we just have like some picks that can come up if the draft situation has like goes kind of wonky in the 4-5 or in the 1-3. We picked Jhin pretty early, so also in the 1-3.
You guys, I think Revan said at the like pre-coach interview before the games that you guys have been improving in scrims. I've heard that you guys have been scrim demons, or not even scrim demons, but you guys have been pretty good in scrims for a very long time. And even Immortals were like, yeah, we beat them, but they kind of crap all over us in scrims. And your boot camp, I think C9 was like, yeah, we may have lost the shop by more than we won. So what's making that difference that you guys are not just winning in scrims, but now winning in stage? Like, how are you translating those learnings?
One big thing is, well, one thing our staff said to us a lot was if we played like we did in scrims, we would just win everything. And that's basically how they saw like us playing on stage. They're just like confused, you know? But I think a really big part is how, like the type of plays you look for in scrims and how translatable they are on stage. I would say one example is like, let's say in scrims, everyone's like fighting like crazy because it's scrims, right? They're testing limits, and then everyone's just calling for dives left and right. Let's like we can dive bottom here. Like we chunked them to half. Like let's dive bottom here, and then we dive bottom. It's like a triple kill maybe because they didn't play it well, and then the game's just over, right? That's like how you can get an easy scrim win, but then stage happens, right? And then it's like they don't get chunked to half. They're just like normally playing. They're just like give a bunch of CS, a little bit of XP. They're like 90% HP. There's no dive angle. And then if the only thing you've been practicing in scrims was just playing like a maniac and like just looking for dives only, you won't know how to practice with other things. And that was one thing one of our coaches basically said. It was like we need to start practicing more skills that are more transferable on stage. Basically, things that would happen on stage rather than in scrims. And it'll be like getting vision, getting objectives set up, like keeping your condition good for fights, and then like that's a lot of like team stuff. So I think we're becoming like a really good team with all the stuff we're practicing right now.
That's very fascinating. I wish I asked you before. We're almost out of time, but like, there's so much to expand upon that. You know, it's like, okay, well, why are scrims being treated as something where like you're learning things that aren't transferable, and how do you make that call? I actually, when I saw Leona playing or Zazel playing Leona and alting a lot of engage, like almost like a scrim alt. He's like, oh, we can do this, we can do this, and there's like no one's behind him, and it feels like he's just pulling that trigger as if it's like a scrim game. I want to talk more about that. I want to talk more about basically what you said of how if those dives don't happen, then how do you reel yourself and play in a intense manner that it's like similar to stage. But yeah, I don't really have time for that. I'm running short, but I do want to give you the opportunity to send a message to us Shopify fans. I remember you talked about last time I talked to you last split. You said that like, don't worry, guys, we're fine. I will carry us. And the next game you played NRG, you had that crocodile or Renekton game where you like absolutely carried. So can we get a couple words?
It's okay, guys. We can carry and we can win together and make it to playoffs. We have 2 more weeks, 2 games to win. We can all do it together as a team. And I hope any fans out there keep believing in us until the end.
Oh yeah, you have no idea how many messages I'm getting. And like, oh my god, you guys did it! You guys did it! We won a game. We won a game. And it was 2-0. I want to thank Dignitas for really giving us this beautiful opportunity to make it to playoffs. It doesn't even look like they're going to make it. My Speaker interview was a little awkward. I had an interview with Speaker. Anyways, I'm just so happy that Shopify won. I'm going to end it here. I don't got no words. If you want to see my reaction, you can go on my Twitter. Like, I was jumping up and down. We won a game.